put their family burial plot right in the middle of the cemetery in a very beautiful place where you can see everything. Hello.
Well. We usually don't have this many people to. Whoa. Thank you. Whoa. Modern convenience here. We don't usually have this many people, but I'm glad to see you all stop by tonight. It's a chilly night, and I know it's a little hard to just kind of stand there. But my husband, Dr. Levi Gaylord, has taken his leave, and I'm going to welcome you to our little spot here in eternity. My name is Dr. Artemesia Gaylord. There were 2 Drs. Gaylord here at one time. I took my medical studies down in Otisco, where I was born. That's in Onondaga County, about a day and a half horse and carriage ride away. And my teacher was Dr. Levi Gaylord, and I thought he was a real cat, but he was my teacher, and I was his student, and I focused on my studies. My darling cousin, however, Theodosia, who's buried right there, Theodosia took his eye, and she was available for courting, and she too was very attracted to Levi. So, ended up that I went to their wedding. I wished them well. Oh, he was a handsome groom, but they went on their way. Strangest thing happened. They moved up here to Sodas, and about a little after a year, I got an invitation to come up to visit. Well, I thought that's pretty nice. I rearranged my own schedule with medical practice, and I took the long ride up here. The strangest thing had happened. Dosha had become very ill and pregnant. Her baby had been born 4 months before. She did the strangest thing. She took her baby boy in her arms and handed him to me. Asked me to raise his baby, Dr. Gaylord's baby. She knew she was going to die, and she actually only lived another month. Well, of course, I was going to love the little boy, but what a quandary. I wasn't married, and now I had a son to raise, and I just didn't know, could I take him down to Otisco with my relatives? They would help me raise the baby. On the other hand, Levi had lost his wife. He clung to the baby boy. This was his new life, the only remnant he had of his marriage. So I knew I couldn't take the baby away from Levi, and I rearranged everything, stayed up here. Well, strangest thing happened. After a while, Levi kind of looked at me at other than his former student. And I encouraged that. That wasn't hard on me. So we got married. Dosha died in August, and we got married in January. No, we were really very happy. He'd come home after a busy day, and he was very affectionate and kind with his patients and with me and with the baby. And all he'd have to do is kind of glance in approval at me, and I would melt. That's probably why we had 8 children after that. So, including the little baby who was named Levi after his father. I'm remembering all the diapers, those cloth diapers, dirty, that needed to be boiled, rinsed, hung on the line. I'd dash back in the house and clean and feed the children and do what needed to be done with the housework and our own clothing. change the diapers, boil the diapers, rinse the diapers back out. You can imagine how that went. Well, we had a wonderful life together. I had to give up my medical practice, obviously, but Levi was wonderful, and he was very involved. And like Lewis Clark, he too had strong convictions about abolition. Now, we were Presbyterians, and we seceded from the church because we did not stand for their take on slavery. We thought it was an abomination. So several of us left the church. It all worked out, though, because after a while it got dissolved, and Levi was buried from the church there, so that worked out. Levi and Jacob Vise and Seth Coleman and Lewis Clark, they joined the Liberty Party, which was an abolitionist sort of against slavery faction. It only lasted 8-9 years around here, and there were only 6 members, but they were staunch and they were dedicated. So, unfortunately, Levi died before the Emancipation Proclamation succeeded in freeing up the slaves. He would have celebrated, long and hard about that. Well, he died when he was 57, and his son Levi took up medicine, and he died when he was 67. And he was a good doctor, though. He had a vision of a hospital growing up here in Sodas, and he put an office up on Main Street. There's a little park there now. And he had a protege, a little admirer who would come up from south of Sodas, Johnny Myers, and he was interested in the scalpels and the thermometers and the patients and so on. And Levi thought that was quite cute and let him observe as much as was decent to do. Johnny Myers went to medical school down in Geneva, and he had the wherewithal to build a hospital. And he built the hospital on Main Street, right incorporated Levi's house and office. So now our young son brought quite a lot of dignity and honor to our name, and we too have a window in the Presbyterian Church on the west side of the sanctuary, and we have a Gaylord Street named after us. I outlived them all. I lived to be 95. Oh my goodness, this is what they buried me in some of my favorite clothes. Thank heavens. You know, it doesn't escape my notice that some of you women are dressed the way we would have thought a man would dress. But you look so much more comfortable than we were ever. Those tight corsets. I am eternally grateful that they didn't bury me in one for eternity. Well, I've talked quite a bit, and when you go to bed tonight and you think about the people that you made happier today, you'll sleep a little better, and I think they will too. Name me one of the people you made a little happier because you stopped by, and I appreciate it. I need some rest now.
Thank you.